Alex has mentioned switching the medium tank to a non-nano unit. I think that can happen. But yeah, I think that might be a unit that gets changed. And then trying to think what other units. They should switch the Wimp to a nano unit. Oh, I think if they switch the Wimp to the nano units, they would have to kind of reset our accounts, or at least give the players who have like over at least 300 Wimps basically something. But honestly, I don't think that's a bad call. If they made Wimps into a nano unit and you still had to train them up to become that R6 Wimp basically, I think that's kind of worth it, because that does destroy the fact of people mass producing Wimps. I also still think they should make R6 Wimps more expensive on healing, so you can't just constantly heal them over time. I think if they make Wimps into nano units, people will rage. So I mean, yeah, people are going to rage so hard, but at the same time, like, we have evidence of the Wimp back then, of how abused those units were. I rather a more balanced game than anything, in my opinion. Honestly, skill issue. It's so hard. I think making Wimps a nano unit's actually a good call. I think it will upset a lot of fucking people. Wimps in PvP weren't crazy. They just need to be nerfed a little. Something has to change with Wimps. I think that's, at the end of the day, that's the conversation. Something has to change with Wimps. It's either got to be in repair cost. When there are 6, they turn into nano units, which I have zero problem with. Take my Wimps away, by all means. Just give me the gold back. That's all I care about. I think a good nerf for the Wimps is that they damage themselves every injection they take. So 3 or 2 attacks and they die. I kind of like that, not gonna lie. That does make sense too, of that they hurt themselves every time they inject. Emperor made his video today about Wimps. Did you guys plan these Wimp talks, or are they? It's just such a huge conversation, honestly, of just like about Wimps. I think that's like, I think every stream that I've done, there's at least been one topic about Wimps, at least. I think that's just it. I did watch that video. I still have yet to finish the last like 5 minutes of it. Something has to change with Wimps. Wimps are just, they are iconic. Oh man, mine just died. I really only think they were broken in boss strikes. Yeah, I would agree. They were kind of broken. I guess I'll do these. I guess they were kind of broken in boss strikes. I don't know. Beyond that, just like, I get it. I understand for the Wimp to be, you have to grind to rank 6 to have these insane units. But once you get them, they're so cheap to just constantly multiply and then just absolutely heal once you lose like 10 of them. In reality, I'm gonna be honest, you really don't need like 300 of these guys at all. I even think I don't know why I'm putting them. I think even having 400 is unnecessary. I think just having 100 is fine. The only time I think you would really need plus 100 is if you have an insane amount of friends and you're doing Wimp drops for them to train SP for their Wimps, probably. So they can also do the same thing. Unit restriction challenges would be fun. I would love to see PvP seasons. I feel like I've talked about this before too. I would love to see PvP seasons where instead of letting loose, and I don't know if this how PvP was back then, but instead of letting loose and letting anyone choose whatever units to use, each season should have a locked amount of units for that season. So like maybe it's like the hunter, the field agent, a trooper, light tank, tank killers, the Wimp, and like, I don't know, 10 other units. But out of those 10 to maybe 15 units, you can only use those units for that season. And after that, let's say a season lasts for like, I don't know, 2 weeks. I feel like that's a good amount of time. After those 2 weeks, the units change. It's totally different, totally something new. So it's always changing out the units to something different. I think that would be I think that would change up a lot of strategy, how a lot of people play in the game, and just add more like, just add more strategy to it, in my opinion.